wealth, how you will become rich and successful. Well, if you are watching this video, you're obviously thinking about this topic, and hopefully I will not disappoint you, because I will not answer this question the way most videos on the net do. In other words, I will neither give you great tips and advice on how to earn at least 1,840 euros per day with only 2 hours of work a day. And I'm not going to bore you with spiritual advice to make you realize that money is just an illusion and you will, once you overcome this greed, find instant, inner, untold wealth. Well, what will I tell you then? Is there a meaningful answer beyond the material or spiritual point of view? Well, yeah, there is. There is a view that I would describe as the most realistic and practical one. So if you strive for wealth and success, it is important that you, before you become active, investigate and understand what you actually want to avoid, what lack you want to overcome or even escape by getting rich and successful. In other words, before you start either to invest a lot of money in success seminars or begin to meditate daily, you have to find some understanding about what you actually want to achieve. Not that you finally earn your 1,840 euros per day and find out that you are still not happy. I mean, that would be pretty stupid, right? Well, and to meditate may help to clear your head and to get your system a little quieter. But it is not the solution to all problems. You have to know what you want to use the meditation for. Then it can actually unfold its full potential in you. And the same is also true for the money. You have to know what you earn it for. And that opens the possibility that the power of money unfolds in a good and fulfilling force. So, what is success? And I do not mean the pure material success, but the success that is deeply satisfying. And that is a very rare achievement, because most people get distracted by the material success and are misled by it, mostly in the form of the pursuit for money or possessions. The real success, which really makes you happy on a profound level, always consists of 3 components. Firstly, the regular success that one recognizes by the fact that what I offer is also valued by other people, for example in the form of money. But in addition, there is also another component that is just as important, namely that what I offer is also highly appreciated by myself. Something that I really like doing, something that is so deeply satisfying for me that I would even do it without getting paid for it. It must almost feel embarrassing that people pay me for something that I enjoy doing so much. But it also needs the 3rd component, and that is just as important as the other 2 components together. And although it is so important, it is usually the component that is so often neglected. It is the question of whether what I, let's say, have to offer is actually an enrichment to the world. Whether the world will be, by what I manifest, a better, beautifuler or more heartful place. This question can only be answered by yourself alone, and only just if you make yourself completely free of the first 2 questions. Not doing so, you will corrupt yourself very easily. One is only too ready to lie to themselves, and doing so, you just do yourself a great disservice. In short, you can also formulate those 3 components as follows. If you want the success to be true and want it to be satisfying and fulfilling, it is essential that what I offer and also how I offer it will gain the goodwill of 3 parties. Firstly, the potential consumers in the spirit of the traditional marketing. Secondly, by myself, in the spirit of, well, common sense. And thirdly, the goodwill of the world, of life, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. Which order you want to apply to check these criteria remains fully up to you. You may, for example, start with a talent that you discover in you and which you really enjoy. Then you find out whether that is a gift to the world, and in the last step you will maybe realize that there are people out there who give you money for it. Well, but maybe it's vice versa. You observe that there is a shortage of something in the world and have a good idea to fix this. Of course, it is also possible that something just fails in this test. Let's say you were a gifted builder of hand grenades, and there surely is a market for that. But is it really something that makes the world a better place? Of course, the old justification, if you do not do it, well, something else will. But then someone else has to bear this burden and has to deal with that. In my experience, in fact, all three components are really just one. It's like three versions of the same component. So, like a really ripe, healthy fruit smells at the same time good and looks good and tastes good. It is just like that in this case. An experienced fruit expert would easily recognize a good fruit from each individual component alone. He would need, for example, only to smell at a fruit and could determine whether it is ripe and healthy. And much like this, it is with a true success. If you, for instance, really seriously ask yourself if what you want to offer really deeply and honestly like to do, and not only what you do, but how you do it, and if there is a big yes you receive from your heart, then you can assume that the other two components are also met. Now, you might ask if this always adds up. Does it work for sure? Well, there's nothing in life for sure. Only death. But I still dare to state, if you do not heed those criteria, it is almost guaranteed that you will not live happily and in harmony. Perhaps you will achieve a lot of money and a big SUV, and you pretend that you are now the happiest person in the world, but how does it really look inside of you? And only you can answer that question. Perhaps you will also stick to your office job you don't really like because it is something solid and respectable. Like better a dead sparrow in the hand than a pigeon on the roof. And you'll drink your wine and your beer in the evening to forget the day and watch television or whatever. Well, maybe you'll even do something what you enjoy doing, but otherwise no one in the world really is interested in that and nobody really cares and needs it. Then this is certainly a nice hobby, but will you really love it as your work and your self-expression? Will you really love your work in one of these cases? So is it guaranteed that your life will be happy if you mind these three elements? No, of course not. But it's much more likely. And your life will certainly be much more alive starting from there. It is just not the question of whether you can achieve that. There's only the question whether you can find the will to do so and what you are willing to risk for it. With love, Dirk Liesenfeld.